Are you ready for this? Let's do it. Welcome to the Manifestation Queen podcast, your filter-free and uncensored source for all things manifestation. I'm Cassie MacKenzie, and I'm a manifestation expert. I'm here to raise your vibes and your cash flow. Listen, I've manifested everything from a beer, a six-figure salary, my husband, and homes, and more. And I am spilling everything I can on this podcast so you can learn how you can do the same. The more fun I have, the more manifestations appear, and the more money I make. So it's my obsession to show you how you can be, do, and have anything you want. So join the movement to raise your income and your impact on this world. Become a manifestation queen and create a life that feels like a vacation. Let's do the damn thing. Oh my God, I'm so excited to be back here recording a new episode and a solo episode. I've missed these. And for those of you who are new to the podcast, I am Cassie MacKenzie. I am an intuitive abundance mentor and business coach for women who want to, align with more alignment in their business, more fun, more pleasure, and more money, of course. So I am so excited to be back here. It is so nice to be recording this episode because I actually have been without my computer for a while. It was getting fixed and getting some things tweaked up at the Apple headquarters. And I didn't have, I really like my system. I love my system. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, if you're new to this podcast, this is where you'll find everything about manifestation, about abundance, about create an abundant as fuck life. And this is especially important because when you're abundant and you're feeling wealthy already, then you don't have time to worry about the shit that makes you, stay up at night at previous levels in life, right? And that's what I want to achieve with this podcast. I want to inspire you to become that version of you before you see things materialize in your reality. So this episode is actually around an aha moment I personally had around expectations. Because, I've always been like goal setter in my life. I've always been a high performer, a high achiever, had high standards for myself. And coming out into the entrepreneurial space and becoming, a coach or a mentor. And if you're new to this podcast, you might from time to time, by the way, hear my kids screaming in the background. Don't worry, nobody's getting killed. It's probably just like they're fighting over a donut or an orange or something stupid like that. So anyway, back to the story at hand. You decide what you're available for. You decide what it is that you want to add to your life, and then you set out to get it. So you can personally raise your hand if you're one of those people who always seems to get what you want, like me. And if you're not quite there yet, let's get you there, because it's probably just some level, some way, shape, or form. You don't have the awareness of how to do it, or you're getting caught into the how, which is causing a cascade of like doubts and disbelief. And it's making you wait even longer and longer for your desires to appear. One of the things that has held me back from, quickly manifesting my desires is expectations. And to give you a little history, when I grew up, I had straight A's. I always did the right thing. Good God, I was like one of those boring kids that always, actually, I think I was like conditioned to be boring because I see my daughter and she's a fucking like fireball. And there's a lot of deconditioning I've had to do with this business to show you more of like my true me that I've been taught to hide over the years. But mainly because of this expectation to be a certain person, and these expectations of, perfectionism, or why can't you be more like that person, right? So there's a lot of comparison that comes in. There's a lot of judgment on yourself. And we want to wipe that away because all of that is just making it a very, very sticky path for you to get to your desires and really hold them in your hand. And that could be like a perfect relationship. It could be a thriving business. It could just be the peace of mind that you have, not sitting there completely obsessing about your business or your weight or your relationship or your future, and actually enjoying the fuck out of life. So what I'm going to tell you about today is the aha moment I had around expectations. I've been doing a lot of work, like self-work on myself. I mean, clearly I'm not doing self-work on other people. I'm helping you do the self-work, but duh. Let me go back. Throughout all the work that I've done, there was this piece of me that, even though like my former coach and I were going through like the timeline, like what was possible for me in the next 3 months. And it turned out like raising my prices, selling higher level offers, really bringing like a new level of abundance into my business. That was on the radar. That was on the timeline. And I was super excited about this. This is like a few months ago. I was so excited because I was like, oh, finally, I'm going to get there. Finally, I'm going to get there. And so I started rolling out programs, but I was doing it from the same energy of, like the version of me that was making a certain amount per year. And when you aren't embodying where you want to go in advance of seeing your desire manifest into real life, then you're holding yourself from that desire manifesting. And it's not really what we've been taught all along or taught in school, right? You're basically like, I need to do all these things to then get what I, want. Like in your job, right? You're given a list of things to do, and then you do them, and then you get paid, right? But we forget about that step that happened before you got the job. That step that happened before you got the job was when you said to yourself, this is the job for me, and this is who I'm going to be going in and snagging this job. Like in my pharma days, I was like a pharmaceutical rep for 20 years, and I knew what I had to do to get the job. I just had to put a suit on, put my hair back, sit up straight, and embody that version of me who knew what the fuck I was talking about and how the fuck to do this job. And truly over time, once you've done the job, you know how to do it, right? You know who to be and how to be. But when you're in advance of this, like before you've gotten the job, there's a little bit of like figuring out how to fit that role. And when you come out in your own business, especially like spiritual entrepreneurship, right? There's this tendency to look around and see what everybody else is doing and try to mold yourself to that. And it doesn't work that way in your business, okay? The way it works in your business is that you need to be the version of just you, that authentic version of you. Y-O-U, not anybody else. You can look to other people and be like, oh, I like this, or I like that, or that's me, or that's not. But like, I would caution you on doing that too much, because then you start to get in that comparison trap when you see that their results are far, vastly different. You got to do you, boo. Okay. So anyway, when you're in your own business, you've got to really own it. You've got to own where you're going, own that version of you, really get intimately in touch with what it's going to look like once you've achieved your goal, who you're going to be once you achieve your goal. And the way that how expectations fits into this. So going back to the story about how I was working with my coach and she was telling me about my timeline. And it was a really fucking magical timeline. Let me tell you what, I was so excited about it too. And I still, I don't want to say that in the present tense, but I kind of, actually I do want to say it in the present, past tense. What the fuck am I even saying? You know what I mean? I want to say it in the past tense because back then I was so excited about finally getting on this timeline that I had dreamed about, right? And I just fell back into my old pattern of, okay, well, what am I going to create? Okay, what am I going to sell? And let me go sell it. And let me go, do this and this and this. I never stopped to think about what does it feel like to already be there? What does it feel like to already have that timeline as my reality? And who do I need to be to embody that timeline right now in my reality? Okay. It's doing that alignment. It's like getting in alignment, being the chick in advance of seeing it in your reality versus doing all the things that are in alignment with the timeline. Okay. So what that led to was me taking all the steps that I thought I needed to take, doing all the things, coming out with really amazing programs that flopped. Like they honestly flopped, because what happened was I started to develop expectations on myself that pushed everything away. And here's why. My aha moment is that there's two types of expectations you can have. One is like an expectation that kind of makes it feel like pressure, controlling, pushing, where you have an expectation of, let's just say your expectation is to have $10,000 per month. Let's go with the one that the coaching industry is like, put as the holy grail. And $10,000. Let's just say that's your goal. And right now you're making $1,000. So you might have subconsciously started putting pressure on yourself for it to look a certain way, for it to be a certain way, for this money to start showing up in a certain channel or from certain people. And also the biggie that I see is that, and I think a lot of coaching industry people perpetuate this when they sell programs. If you've ever seen people say, oh, you see the screenshot of like, oh, she signed up for my program, and then an hour later, somebody bought her highest level thing, and then it paid for itself. And it's like, what the fuck? You're basically training people to think that there's this tit for tat type thing, or that it's an linear exchange from that same exact channel. And I completely disagree with that. And if I ever do that, I'm going to make sure to put this caveat there, because when we're setting up expectations for yourself, you're putting pressure on yourself that way. Like if I say, come sign up with me in my one-on-one coaching and you'll pay $3,000 a month, and then you start thinking, well, all right, great. Well, if I pay $3,000 a month, then at the end of our coaching cycle, if I work together for like 6 months, that's $18,000. So I fully expect to make $18,000 after we're done working together, or through the process of working together. And so while yes, absolutely that happens, you make the money back. However, you probably could make even more than that. So number one, you're kind of pinching yourself off from like all the possibility that's fucking out there to begin with. But second of all, if you're not careful, and it's a very slippery slope, but if you're not careful, then you could start having this kind of needy energy where you're gripping on so tight to that channel. You're gripping on saying, I spent $3,000 this month on this thing, and therefore in this channel, I expect, like if you spent $3,000 on yourself for your coaching business, then you expect to get $3,000 back from your coaching business, when it could actually come from a whole lot of other places, right? It could, and if you're open to it coming from more and more and more places, then guess what? More money flows to you, you take the pressure off, and then it actually can double or triple through your coaching business. So that's just another thing from what I've seen with my clients too. But here's the thing. When you do things with this expectation of, well, I do this so that, this desire will happen, instead of doing it from like a place of joy and abundance, like paying with joy, paying with abundance, saying, oh my God, this is expanding me so much. I'm creating this availability for all of this energy to come in, and you're feeling so good about it. Okay. So the first type of expectation is that expectation that feels like pressure. It feels like control and constriction, and it feels like you're pushing, right? And that was what I was doing. I was expecting that, having these expectations that this is all going to come back and there's nothing else that I need to do. And I was not embodying the version of me who already had that success, who it was natural. It was just natural to have that type of success in my business consistently month after month after month without even thinking about it. Okay? And that brings us to the second type of expectation. And this is the one where you want to live in. Okay? This is the place you want to live. Faith. This is confident expectations. This is believing in infinite possibility and abundance. This is like throwing out your desire to the universe, but you're being that person that already has the faith that your desire is coming back. And it's either going to be this or it's going to be something better and something greater that's going to be returned to me. Do you feel how much lighter that is, right? It doesn't feel like pressure. It feels like it feels like opening floodgates, right? If you imagine like a water hose, the first type of expectation feels like you're crimping the hose and you're preventing the water to come through. Maybe even tying it in a knot and expecting the water to be able to come through. Whereas the second type of expectation, the one that you actually want to, embody more in your life, is that one that kind of like, they're like, oh, you used to have a hose. Let me go get a fire hose and hook that up for you so that you can get more water, because there's water there and it's trying to make it to you. And I want to get even more and more and more water to you. Okay. And you have that confident expectation of like, fuck yes, this has happened. It's already happening. It's already there. I'm just an energetic match for it because I've already become the woman who has this anyway. And that woman knows that it's natural for this shit to show up on a daily fucking basis. There's no question about it. Like, you have no wiggly energy there, like nothing. It's just pure, like, it's like looking at one of those like lagoons that just has like, it's just still water and the water's so peaceful, versus the other one is like fucking waves. Like, there's a Coast Guard boat that made a wrong turn and ended up in your lagoon and you're like, what the fuck are these waves? Where's the static coming from, right? So that would be the more pressure kind of control expectation. So what your homework is from this episode is take a look. Just take stock on what you've done the last couple days and really get real and ask yourself, which category have I lived in most of the time? Have I lived in the confident expectation, the of course it's happening, it's already done, like infinite possibility, like basically the expectation that says, oh my God, like for fucking sure I'm making $100,000 this month and it'll probably be more than that. I don't know how, but I just know, like, it's just a standard. It's a fucking standard of the person I am. It just gets that effortlessly, like fucking effortlessly, right? It's confident expectation. And if you don't know exactly how to get there, then a coach, a mentor can help you, or you can do the embodiment work on your own. For me personally, I've found that in the past, it's been hard work and it's been hard for me to force myself to do it. And I kind of had to get to one of those enough is enough moments and really sit down and say, what's the missing piece? And it became abundantly clear what that freaking missing piece was. Like, let me tell you what. And now I don't even think twice about it. Like, honestly, I don't even think twice about it, because I know that this woman that I'm becoming and the actions that I take are fully in alignment, because I'm not doing that shit, not having the same thoughts. I'm not having the same energy, not having the same just like fucked up kind of like thoughts that come through that then create the energy in motion and then start to become even solid beliefs and values, right? So this is the type of work that I do with my one-on-one clients and the private clients that I work with, in addition to opening up you energetically for more abundance, clearing your abundance blocks, which is super fucking fun, and other intuitive things that I do that are privy to my private clients. But I do want to mention that I am launching a mastermind coming up here soon too. So in this work, this embodiment work, and we are going to be getting deep and dirty into it. We are going to be like aligning you with the woman who achieves unrealistic results on a daily fucking basis. And none of this bullshit, none of these bullshit expectations that take you on a road to nowhere, okay? And none of that is going to be there anymore. And this is going to be such a high level experience, a game changer for you and your business and your life, because you are going to switch up every single area of your life and create new patterns that are going to help you align with your desires. And this is no fucking bullshit. This is what works for you. Also, we are going to be focusing on money a lot in this mastermind as well. I love coaching and mentoring around money, and I have come up with an amazing program to make you abundant as fuck. So you'll not only learn about like embodying that energy of money, setting confident expectations, creating new standards, creating a new set point that you receive from and act and believe and receive from in life, so that you continually expand and you continually have the energy to propel yourself forward in just a seamless way, a way that feels so natural. And if you get in the middle of any sort of like road bumps, you're able to just step over them because you know exactly what to do. You know exactly what to do to get through it. So if this is something that's calling you, I'm going to be launching this soon. This is going to be the Abundant as Fuck Mastermind. I am excited about this experience. I'm so excited for the ladies who are joining. And, come do it. Come do the damn thing. Come fucking join us. Become the vibe. Become the woman who sets expectations for herself that open the floodgates, right? Open those floodgates for you. And if not, if this is not calling your name, then I'm just so grateful that you're in my world. I'm so grateful I get to do this work every day. And I'm so thankful that each and every one of you listen to this podcast and listen to these episodes. This is life-changing work that we do, guys. This is. And every time you change your life for the better and you change your mindset and you change your mind, you are impacting the world around you. And that is amazing. That's so amazing. What other jobs can you say that you do that? I don't know. I can't really think of one that's this fulfilling. So reach out to me if you guys have any questions. I love it when you take a screenshot of this episode, tag me on Instagram at XO Cassie MacKenzie. We have some amazing things coming for you this month, and I can't wait for them to be announced. Okay. I love you so much, each and every one of you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks a million for choosing to push play on another episode of the Manifestation Queen podcast. You truly amazed me, and if this episode blew your mind, then please leave a 5-star rating and a quick review on iTunes so more people like you can become manifestation queens too. See you next time.